You ready?
Tales of Symphonia was first released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003, and was later re-released on PlayStations 2 through 4, PC, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. The early part of the game sees protagonist Lloyd Irving traveling through his homeworld of Silverant with his childhood friends Genus and Colette, his teacher Rain, and the mysterious Kratos. The world of Silverant is running out of its life force called mana. Colette is the chosen of regeneration, and takes on a pilgrimage to awaken the summon spirits who protect Silverant. It is said that awakening these spirits will in turn awaken a goddess named Martel, who will seal away the evil designs and restore the world's mana, and the chosen will be reborn as an angel. However, it is soon revealed that with each awakening of a summon spirit, Colette must give up parts of her humanity. She loses the abilities to eat, sleep, feel, and speak, and becomes an empty vessel. Deciding against sacrificing Colette completely to become the vessel of the goddess Martel, the group escapes with the character Sheena to her homeworld of Tetheala, but leaves Kratos behind, as he is revealed to be on the opposing side. The party learns that this other world has its own chosen, Zelos, who joins them, and that the two worlds share a limited supply of mana, so when one world is regenerated, the other declines. The group also joins up with a man named Regal and a girl named Persea, who simply reiterates her desire to return home. It is later revealed that Persea was an experiment subject, and was given power at the cost of her emotions and her aging process. She appears to be 12 years old, but is actually 28. When Persea gets home to Ozette, the group learns that she meticulously tends to her father and their homestead. Due to the experimentation, Persea does not realize that her father has already passed away, and that it is only his corpse in the bed. To make things worse, the people of Ozette think of Persea as a freak and a monster. Eventually, the group is able to cure Persea of the ramifications of the experimentation, and she joins them on their journey. Later, Ozette is destroyed for housing Altessa the Dwarf, a former ally of the evil organization Crucius, to which the Desians belong. In the spin-off sequel Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, it is stated that Ozette is still being rebuilt and repopulated after the attack. The music of Ozette, titled Deepest Woods, reflects the depressing atmosphere of the location, as well as Persea's character.
Let's go all out!
I find the musical narrative of Deepest Woods to be a futile battle against monotony. The music is in the key of E minor, and we start with the statement of an arpeggiated E minor chord traveling down to a D major chord, missing a fifth. This is followed by the same E minor arpeggiation to another D major harmony, but this time, the E minor harmony rises up to a D major chord without a root. You can also analyze this as an F sharp minor chord, but I'll tell you why I don't in a little bit. Above this you hear a repetitive chime. The aforementioned chord progression will undergird all of the other musical material going forward. We then get a flute melody above the D major without a root, and the reason I called it D major instead of F sharp minor is because you have this D in the melody, which completes the chord, but as soon as you get to it, the melody falls to a B to align with the E minor chord. In fact, it seems the melody wants to soar beyond this monotonous E minor D major progression it's trapped with, but each time it gets pulled back to a long-held note from E minor. The melody continues on, with this ascent in long tones eventually getting pulled back down again. Towards the end here, it's almost like the melody is resigning itself to being stuck in this monotonous harmony. Notice how it's so rhythmically active here, and then it gets dragged down to this B, part of the E minor chord. After this, it makes the slightest moves away from the E minor chord, with a step up to a quarter note D, and then from E down to D, but only for an eighth note, then it's back up to E, like it ran out of energy trying to break out in the preceding measures. Before we move on from here, I want to point out this measure. This is the first non-D major or E minor static harmony we've gotten so far, with the D and F sharp of the repeating pattern combining with the melody's B to form an inverted B minor chord. In fact, strings come in for the first time in the music right after this happens, marking it as a momentous occasion in the music. We'll refer to this later. From here, a new instrument takes on melodic duties. It has a very similar journey, getting extremely active above the relentless E minor D major progression, accompanied by a powerful crescendo and ascent in the strings, only to loop back to the very beginning of the piece. So, the music never escapes the monotony of the underlying harmony, much like Persea is unable to escape the monotony of her duties in Ozette. When Persea regains control of herself with the help of Lloyd and the rest of the party, she retains most of her memories, so it seems there was some small part of her in there that was still herself, longing to break out, but being unable to do so. Similarly, Ozette is an unchanging village, secluded away and populated by small-minded people who are unwilling to change in their perceptions of Persea, despite Lloyd's efforts. Eventually, the village is destroyed before any changes begin to take shape, leaving it in its monotonous state until the rebuilding process talked about in Dawn of the New World. Before we finish here, I'd like to take a quick look at Persea's theme music, which is different from the music of Ozette. It begins in A minor, but eventually modulates to E minor, like the home key of Deepest Woods. Before we get to the key of E minor, there is a B major with an E note rubbing against it with some passing tones, followed by a strong B major chord, consisting only of the notes of B major. And these are the first two B major chords in this theme. Remember that the closest we got to a harmonic breakout in Deepest Woods was a B minor. To me, this B major chord is the beginning of a breakout Persea is taking part in that Ozette and her enslaved self could not, with the strong B major being the true resolute breakout. Right after the stronger B major, the key changes to E minor, the same key as Deepest Woods. We have the progression of E minor to D major, again like in Deepest Woods, but this time the monotony is quickly broken with this B major, and then this section ends with one more B major before looping back to the beginning. I don't know that this was composed with this exact narrative in mind, but relating themes with keys and harmonic ideas is a way that some of the great composers have provided consistency in storytelling, and this use in Tales of Symphonia is no different to my ears.
Gotta know when to go!
In closing, the Deepest Woods music and Ozette itself seem representative of Persea's time of being stuck. Shades of this are evident in her own theme music, but that is only one part of her story. She had a life before the experimentation, and she continues on once she is freed, becoming a major player in the events of the game and its spin-off sequel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.